I'm automated. I'm on YouTube now. So if y'all don't know me, I go by your favorite fat boy, Chevy from 300 Villains. You may know me from my rants on Facebook. If you don't know me, I'm not famous. So check it out. I felt like I needed a platform to where I didn't have to, you know, deal with people's personalized attacks uh, based off of, uh, you know, poor general knowledge of me. This being my first video, I just want to let y'all know what my politics are, where I stand on a lot of things. Is um, I'm what I like to call an equalist. Um, I'm Randy Orton. Anybody can catch this RKO. I'm definitely one of those people like you. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Period. I'm not about to sit up here and tell you that I'm not about to call to you just because you belong to one of my subcultures or something like that. I'm a black man. You feel me? And I wouldn't classify myself as a Christian or a Baptist or anything like that. Very spiritual. Um, I definitely love. I love my black people. I love my black women, my kings, my queens. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm definitely for the betterment and empowerment of the black community, of course. But I don't feel like I need to tear down any other culture to do so. I definitely can love who I love uh, and still have my beliefs. Uh, I'm a firm believer that you know the only limits that this world has are the limits that we put on ourselves. Uh, that's been proven, obviously, through so many different things that have occurred over the last few years, especially the last few years. Um, just so that everybody knows, I do not own rights to any of this music. I just need to say that. Um, but I will say this: uh, a lot of the issue is, I feel, is that we developed this slippery slope very early on, and now no one wants to take accountability for it. No one wants to take responsibility. I feel like this generation is a bunch of cousins. That's just, and I'm not saying like actual cousins, of course, um, but we all know like all your cousins come over for the summer or something like that, one weekend, and something breaks or something, and then no one knows what happened. You know, even though we know that all these events led up to this being damaged or broken or whatever the case may be. No one wants to step up and say, "Hey, I did this," and so on and so forth. So then we all end up in a boat to where we're all compromised or in trouble, and we end up having to deal with those consequences, not knowing where initially they even came from. So that's one of the craziest things that I personally have to say about where I stand on this generation, and that I hopefully that'll be translated in a lot of my content. One thing that I want to make very, very clear is that I don't feel like uh, a lot of the issues that we have are even relevant. It's very petty and very unnecessary. What I mean by that is basically there's just a lot of issues that we deal with on a day to day basis that we don't necessarily have to. The fact that there is still racism in this world, and we kind of just try to deal with it on a daily day basis. It's kind of like, yeah, we that's something that's going to be there, but I've learned that we can't we can't make other people make the same decisions that we will or feel how we feel. Um, So when you come on here, I want y'all to understand that even though I may have my own opinion, I personally don't have a problem with being wrong, but I will defend anything that I feel is right. So with that being said, if you come on here or if you have comments and that you feel like I'm wrong, please show me, where I'm wrong so that I can learn and I can grow from that. However, if you are wrong, just be prepared for that fucking argument. Just want you to know that for sure. Uh, I I don't own rights to any of this music, but I just wanted to be clear before we get into like the actual arguments or before we get into those discussions about just what we have to, what I personally have experienced and what I deal with on a daily basis or I have been dealing with. Um, I want you to understand this is my personal perspective, and it's not. I'm not hurt. I want y'all to know that. Well, my hand's broken, but I'm not hurt. A female has hurt me. Females have hurt me in the past, but I don't carry that into the next relationship, and I want that to be understood too. So my opinions are strictly based off of things that I've experienced, observed, witnessed, and when I say observed, I've witnessed it firsthand. So where I've seen female A talk to man A and do some foul shit. And when I say where I've witnessed, I've I've been in a situation where my homeboys, confided in me and explaining to me exactly what's going on as far as between him and this said female, or whatever the case may be. So that's that. So with all that being said, I'm happy to be on YouTube finally. Um, I don't want to come on here strictly for controversy. That's not my intention at all. But I do feel like it's a lot of things that we ain't saying, and that's kind of the issue. And I feel like we all have to start taking responsibility for our actions, not just men, not just women, not just black people, not just white people. We all have to. We aren't all held accountable. Then once again, we ride down that slippery slope. The last thing I'm going to say is, my philosophy doesn't just stem from pain or hurt or negative place at all. I've definitely encountered some tragedies these last few years, especially. But I also understand that you wouldn't be able to appreciate the good without having to deal with the bad. We won't learn, you know, until we experience. Um, so just keep that in mind. I'm not this horrible person. I don't think that everything that I say applies to every single person. But I'll either say some majority or it will be specified. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like everything fits, a one fits all. That doesn't apply, especially when it comes to, decisions and emotions and just the climate that we live in. So keep that in mind when you're watching my content. Um, and it's going to range. I'm not always going to be an angry black dude. I'm going to touch on a lot of different things, perspectives on relationships where I feel like we've gone wrong, as far as where the slippery slope started, and how do I feel like we can fix it. Um, equalism, equalism 2021. Just keep that in mind. But no, I ain't gonna keep you up here too much longer. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make sure that I was able to give myself a welcome and everything and let y'all know who I was so that y'all can expect more from me. Uh I'm probably gonna be changing my name real soon. I'm working on a workshop and some things, but um I appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully this will become a platform to where, I'll be able to, grow, do more and be able to expand as far as my businesses and just business ventures period. But thank y'all once again. Favorite Fat Boy signing out. Um, that's it. Later.